thinking about moving to Grapevine, Texas? Well, in this video, we're going to take a look at any and everything Grapevine, Texas. So, if you've been thinking about moving to Grapevine, Texas, this is a video you are not going to want to miss, so stay tuned. Hey, if this is your first time to the channel, welcome, glad to meet you. My name is Wendy Pennell. I am a local real estate broker here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. If you want to know everything there is to know about living in Dallas, Texas, or any one of its many suburbs, including Grapevine, be sure to hit that subscribe button and click on that little bell. We have been in the business of family brokerage since 2007, helping buyers and sellers just like you. So, if you like the idea of our family helping yours, be sure to head on down to that description section, and fill out our Let's Find Home questionnaire. You're also welcome to drop us an email, you can send us a text, give us a call. Really, any one of those ways work. We're just glad to help you find home in Dallas, Texas. But like I said, today we're going to take a look at any and all and everything Grapevine, Texas. So let's hop on over to my computer and get started. Okay, so here we are taking a look at Grapevine, Texas, and I always like to kind of give you the big picture view first. So do you see that nice little triangle? Grapevine is centrally located. Yay! We don't always get that. We've done McKinney way up here, and we've done Plano, which, are not even remotely centrally located, but yay for Grapevine. It is centrally located. Let me kind of let you see that from a little bigger picture. Okay, Dallas, Fort Worth, Grapevine. All right, now how big is Grapevine? Well, let's take a look at that. And that is what you're looking at in terms of Grapevine, and it's not that huge, and yet check it out, it even has a Grapevine Lake. Okay, so that is very cool. All right, so we see it's centrally located. What are we talking about in terms of commute? Let's take a look at that. Okay, so centrally located is a beautiful thing, and so is a short commute. So you can see right here your commute to Dallas. Check that out, only 25 minutes. A 25-minute commute is a fantastic thing, and basically you're going to take 114 all the way down until you get to 35. So check that out, ladies and gents, only 25 minutes. Now, how about Fort Worth? Because, in the past, when we've been working up here, we've seen that, the commute to Fort Worth was awful. So let's take a look at Fort Worth. Okay, downtown Fort Worth, 24 minutes. I mean, are you going to get more centrally located than that? Let's take a look and see what that looks like. All right, so basically you're going to take 121, close up there, all the way down to Fort Worth. All right, so yeah, another just nice short commute. So you know what, this is just a fantastic central location on this one. All right, how about if you wanted a little recreation, you wanted to go to the AT&T Stadium? Let's take a look at that. Well, look at that, 20 minutes. So fantastic so far. And really, to get to the AT&T Stadium, you're going to use Highway 360. So you can see you're going to go a little bit on 114, and then you're going to go all the way down until you get to 30. And again, I always like to talk about this because, I always point out AT&T Stadium because you have Six Flags Over Texas, Hurricane Harbor, Texas Live, and Texas Rangers baseball all in the same area. So it's always a good idea to kind of point that out because, at some point in your stay in Texas, you're probably going to end up over there. Okay, so let's take another look. How about if you had to travel with work? Let's take a look at that. What would a travel to work look like? 10 minutes. Wow, you guys, that's awesome. 10 minutes. So here so far we have Dallas, we have the AT&T Stadium, and look at that short drive to the airport. That is just fantastic, a 10-minute drive. Now, one thing I have heard is people have commented that you can hear, like the jets and whatnot, a little bit of airport noise in Grapevine. But anyway, a 10-minute commute. Wow. Okay, now let's take a look. What is our next commute of interest? Well, the Las Colinas Business Center. Remember, we've talked about how there's like 125,000, something like that, jobs in Las Colinas. So that is definitely worth checking out. What kind of commute are we talking about there? 17 minutes. Let's close up on that just a little bit. Highway 114, okay, is going to get you to the Las Colinas. And you know, as densely populated as Las Colinas is, one of its many benefits for, you know, as small as it is that it has all these highways, you know? So look at all those highway choices. And, you know, obviously 114 is one of them, getting you from Grapevine to Las Colinas. So there are going to be plenty of people that, you know, work in Las Colinas. So that's good to know, right? So check out these times so far. Downtown Dallas, 25 minutes. Downtown Fort Worth, 24 minutes. AT&T Stadium, 20 minutes. DFW Airport, 10 minutes. Las Colinas Business Center, 17 minutes. So yeah, Grapevine is just fantastic in terms of commute times. Now, let's suppose that you wanted a little bit of lake action. Let's take a look at that. Okay, your area lakes, you can kind of see this looks pretty obvious here, is Louisville Lake and Grapevine Lake right in here. Talking about 23 minutes to Grapevine Lake, and I'm sure that, you know, that's really going to depend on where in Grapevine you are. And then about a half-hour drive to Louisville Lake. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. Kind of see that right there. Half-hour drive to one, you know, short drive, really depending on where you are to get to Grapevine Lake. So again, there is Grapevine. You can see the size there. Let's take a look at some statistics real quickly. Let's just kind of see, get us started here by looking at some statistics for Grapevine. Okay, let's close up a little bit here. Grapevine population, 59,000 and some change. Okay, it's in Tarrant County. All right, the land area, 32 square miles. So, you know, and again, we compare this like to Midlothian, which has, you know, 64 square miles and 40,000, right? So it's a little more densely populated than that, you know, and yet McKinney has what, over 200,000 and a land area of like 60 miles and some change. So not a horrible, you know, densely populated area, not like we would see, you know, like with Watauga, which is just so packed. Okay, what else? Growth rate, it's growing at about 2.5%. So similar to what we see in Mansfield, which, you know, we're going to look at this a little bit later in housing, but it does surprise me that it's growing like this because there's not that much new construction. So yeah, so this growth rate is a little surprising because a lot of times when you're landlocked, you won't see it growing quite so much. In fact, sometimes you'll see it kind of shrinking in growth. So yeah, but still growing. Its growth since 2010 is 28% and some change. Population then was 46,000. All right, average household income, 117,000, similar to Mansfield, similar to McKinney and Plano. All right, and the home ownership rate, 52%. So we'd like to see it higher, right? We always talk about how that home ownership rate, you know, kind of indicates people putting down roots. But yeah, so that is what the home ownership rate is there in Grapevine. Okay, now let's take a look and really dig into Grapevine now. You can kind of see the borders here. Let me go ahead and take that off because Grapevine, oh my goodness, it has so much to offer. In fact, fun fact, Grapevine is known as the Christmas capital of Texas. So they have like a ton of events at Christmas and you'll see a lot of people coming in for that. So that is just one of the many things that Grapevine has. It also has a winery. Let me go in here a little bit because I want to show you historic downtown Grapevine because I think that is one of the many really just appealing features about Grapevine. Okay, so looking in here, you have a beautiful, very walkable, charming downtown in Grapevine, okay? And look at how many different places, like I mentioned a minute ago, they have a winery, another winery, Texas General Store, Ruthie Jane's, Grapevine Olive Oil Company. We've gone here for the big Christmas parade that they have every year, and eaten here at some of these smaller restaurants, and it is just really neat. Like I said, so much charm. You have your Christmas store here, your embroidery shop. So it's really neat. Grapevine definitely has what you would consider to be a walkable downtown, and it's a very good sized walkable downtown as well. In fact, it is so walkable that you would consider that one of your major shopping areas. Right here, the old Main Street Shopping Center. So neat place. I think a lot of people come here just to enjoy the historic downtown. But that is not the only shopping center by any means. You also have your Grapevine Town Center. Let's scroll out here and take a look at that right over here. You can see your Grapevine Town Center. You also have your Gateway Plaza right here, and you're gonna have your my personal favorite, which is the Grapevine Mills Mall. Okay, we have been going to the Grapevine Mills Mall for a good 20 years from the time our kids were little. Now they're grown up. We have a few still at home, but neat place, so much to offer. Let me give you an idea here, because the neat thing about the Grapevine Mills Mall is it's great for shopping, for the shopper in you, but it also has a ton of entertainment and amusement things. So let me show those to you. You got right here, you have your bowling, you have your movie theater here, and this area is really, really neat. Right in here, you have an aquarium, which by itself is just a fun outing. You could literally come here, just spend the day right here at the aquarium. And you also have the Legoland Discovery. And so you've also got over here, Field House, USA Grapevine here, which is your basketball. And then in here, somewhere in here, you have Lunar Putt-Putt Golf. Okay, you've got your Rainforest Cafe. The neat thing about this mall also is it is an outlet mall, so you can get some really good deals. But yeah, with so much to do, you can pick and choose and easily spend an entire day out here and not even remotely take it all in. Like, okay, we decided we were going to take our grandbabies out here one day, and we started here at the aquarium, and we spent several hours there, and of course they loved it. They were two-year-olds at the time, and an infant. And from there, we of course came on over to the food court, had a little bit of lunch, and after that, we went on over to, the Build-A-Bear workshop, and they were really unimpressed, with the bears that had no stuffing in them until we showed them, that we were going to fill them up. And then from there, we walked on down this way and we played some lunar golf, right? And so that was that was the end of our day. That was all they could handle, they were worn out. But still, that kind of shows you how much you can do, both shopping and entertainment and dining, all in this one big massive area. And then of course, like icing on the cake is that it's an outlet mall, right? So definitely great shopping in Grapevine. Another really neat thing that Grapevine has is they have the Gaylord Hotel, and that is a really neat area. Regardless of whether you're staying there or not, it's a really neat area to just go and walk around, right? It's huge, and you can just go out there and you might decide, hey, I'm gonna eat at one of the restaurants and just spend the day just walking around, especially if the weather's bad and you want to see a beautiful area. You can just walk around, so it's a very walkable area. You don't have to be traveling to enjoy it. In fact, at Christmas time, they have some great events here. They have the ice at the Gaylord Texan, and they also have just various little kiosk areas where you can decorate gingerbread cookies and that sort of thing. And like I said, Grapevine does Christmas huge. So yeah, definitely if you move to Grapevine, plan on having the Christmas spirit for sure. Okay, another thing, that I have to show you is the Great Wolf Lodge. Okay, this is also a really neat place, and it's right, near the mall. It's a water park, but it's an indoor water park. So you'll see a lot of people come here. Maybe the weather's yucky outside, maybe it's spring and it's been raining and your kids are restless. Maybe it's spring break. The Great Wolf Lodge is a really fun area for kiddos, indoor water park. So, can you kind of see that even though Grapevine is not massive, it has a lot of entertainment, a lot of stuff to do, very much like you would not need to leave Grapevine to find something to do on a Friday evening or really any day of the week, okay? And it's not just good for kids, there's a lot to offer for adults as well, because, going to the Gaylord, on a Friday night, it's a very romantic date night. There's just some really neat areas to walk and sit and talk and some nice restaurants. Okay, another thing I wanted to show you that Grapevine is really known for is right in here, the Grapevine Vintage Railroad. So sometimes you can have wine tours on here. You can just take your kiddos just for a trip on the railroad, which is a lot of fun. And they also, during Christmas, oh my goodness, it becomes the North Pole Express. So it's a really neat thing, the Grapevine Vintage Railroad. So we're seeing plenty of dining, plenty of entertainment, Christmas capital of Texas. But let's talk about housing for a minute. Let's see what kind of housing Grapevine has to offer. Okay, so as you can imagine, with Grapevine having so much to offer, the pricing is up there, okay? And you would expect that. It's centrally located, doesn't have a whole lot of new construction, and it's just got so much to offer. Anyway, your median sales price in the past 90 days in Grapevine, $451,000. Median price per square foot, past 90 days, $224 a square foot. Let's see, your nice areas, your more luxury and affluent areas are north of Grapevine or up by Grapevine Lake. So you're talking around 700 to 800,000 up in those northern areas. Okay, but what about new construction? Okay, so we need to talk about this because you would think that there would be a lot of new construction in Grapevine, and you do have one, but one is pretty much all you're gonna get. So let me show you that one, okay, because that is over here. It's the Shady Brook subdivision. So let me kind of give you a look at that one, since that's pretty much your only choices of new construction. Okay, we have Make Us Homes and Neighborhoods. And I want to show you this, okay? So these kind of neat. They're modern farmhouse homes, okay, but check this out, okay? This is Grapevine for you. Sold. For sale there and for sale there. Everything else sold out. So that kind of, speaks to new construction in Grapevine, or should I say the lack thereof. In fact, let's go ahead and hop on over here to the MLS and take a look at that. Okay, so here is our Netris matrix. Let's enter Grapevine. Okay, we got Grapevine there, and immediately it pops up with 24 matches. Let me kind of show you the demand in Grapevine. If we go from, let's just go with active, ones that are not under contract, you're going to get 12. So right now in all of Grapevine, you're going to see 12 homes for sale. How about sold in the last 90 days? Let's take a look at that. Wow, are you seeing that? 111 sold compared to 12 for sale. Okay, so that kind of speaks to the demand as well as the inventory that there is not. Now, let me show you this. If I were to go in here and let's just say go with, I want to look at homes that were built in 2021 or later. So remember, we had 12 actives, and you can see right here how many are for sale. So the big fat goose egg right there. So if you are wanting to find new construction, if you're like, hey Wendy, it's got to be new construction, I'm gonna say, you know what, we're not gonna find that in Grapevine. Okay, so it just doesn't have it. Now let's take a look. Let's go ahead and take that off, that year, and we're back to our 12 matches. Let's kind of see and take a look at what prices we're talking about. Okay, so we've got one that is a very low price, $275, just under that, and then we go $360, $430. We're going to go all the way up to $6 million. Okay, so these are probably pretty unusual. You can see they've got high acreage. So really, in terms of like your ordinary single family home, you're talking about a range between $275, about $925,000. And just really, again, not that much to choose from. And you can see these are all, this stands for new. So you can see all of these are new on the market, and they're going to go off the market pretty quickly because, I mean, you see everything that Grapevine has to offer, and yet just so little in the way of housing. Okay, so speaking of how much it has to offer, let's take a quick look here at niche.com. Okay, let's see what good old Niche is going to tell us about Grapevine. The public schools are an A+. Okay, housing a B+, probably having to do with very little inventory there. It's great for families. Give it a C+ for crime and safety and an A for diversity. So that's niche.com's take. And yes, the public schools in Grapevine are outstanding, excellent ratings, which again just speaks to, wow, Grapevine has so much to offer. So if you are able to secure a home in Grapevine, that's a pretty big accomplishment because Grapevine just has so much to offer. Okay, so how about green space in Grapevine? Of course, you have your lakes here, but how much green space is there in this little area? So let's kind of scroll in here and take a look. There's not a whole lot within Grapevine itself, but there is a lot nearby. So yeah, so you've got, some parks over here, the Botanical Garden at Heritage Park. So you definitely have some parks within Grapevine itself, but you're not going to see, a whole lot of green space right inside it, but you will definitely see plenty nearby. So yeah, you can see a few things here. You've got the Pan Park playground here, you got a nature trail, a park here. So definitely some good options, but the cool thing is that you have fantastic choices really close nearby. So you can see you've got your Bear Creek Golf Club here, and then up here you have Meadowmere Park, Bob Jones Park. So really, making up maybe for not a ton of green space, you have the lake. So you have your Grapevine recreational area, Oak Grove Park. Over here you have Heritage Park. So not necessarily just a ton of green space in Grapevine, but a lot that is right nearby. Okay, so tell me, was this map tour helpful? Does it make you just want to pack up the kiddos and head over to Grapevine now? With how much it has to do, the Great Wolf Lodge, then there's the mall with all the stuff in there. Anyway, if it was helpful, the next best thing you can do is to take a look at some more videos, right? Because this is just the tip of the iceberg. We feature all of the cities in the Metroplex, and we've done videos on these: Fort Worth, Arlington, Grand Prairie, Dallas, Irving, Garland, I could go on and on, Plano, McKinney, Frisco. So if this was helpful, definitely head on over to my YouTube channel, take another look around, and listen, you know what? If you have a move in your future, anywhere in here, definitely reach out to us. You can reach out through our Let's Find Home questionnaire, or you're welcome to call us or text us or email us. Any one of those ways work. But in the meantime, thank you so much for dropping by and watching our Grapevine map tour. And listen, have a great day.